Okay, let's dive right into an explainer that might just save your next major life event. We're talking about a vital piece of the administrative puzzle, getting a copy of your divorce decree in the state of Maryland. Picture this. You're trying to refinance your home, or maybe you're getting ready to remarry, or you need to divide some assets. But then, everything grinds to a halt. Why? Because you're missing one crucial piece of paper. If you've ever found yourself with a blocked mortgage or a stalled name change just because you can't find your divorce decree, you're going to want to pay close attention to this. So, here's our roadmap for today's explainer. We'll quickly run through why your decree actually matters, break down a simple 4-step retrieval process, tackle how to overcome some common roadblocks, look at a few real-world scenarios, and wrap up with a quick conclusion and disclaimer. All right, kicking things off with Section 1, Why Your Decree Matters. Because trust me, it's way more than just a piece of paper. Before we even get into the how, we really need to nail down the what. In Maryland, there's a huge critical distinction between two very different documents. On one hand, you've got the Judgment of Absolute Divorce. This is the big one, a multi-page, legally binding court order signed by a judge that details the heavy stuff: custody, property, and support. On the other hand, there's a verification of divorce. This is just a simple one-page vital record from the health department that basically just proves you're single. You absolutely cannot use that simple verification to do things like divide a retirement account or enforce child support. For that, you need the full judgment. And you'd be surprised how often that full decree comes into play. We're talking about really common, major life events. Mortgage refinancing? You need it. Legally changing your birth name? Yep, need it for that too. Dividing retirement accounts through a QDRO, enforcing child custody, or verifying child support obligations all require this specific document. The main takeaway here is that the Judgment of Absolute Divorce is literally the legally enforceable foundation for all of these huge financial and personal milestones. Moving right along to Section 2, the 4-step process. This is your actionable roadmap to actually getting your hands on that decree. Navigating court bureaucracy can feel like a totally overwhelming maze, right? So we've broken the whole thing down into 4 clear, distinct steps. Identify the court, gather information, request the copy, and explore alternatives. This way, you'll always know exactly where you stand. Step 1, you've got to head to the correct circuit court in the exact county where your divorce was finalized. And let me be super clear about this. Do not go to a district court, and definitely don't go to a federal court. There's a really common myth floating around that any court building can help you out. Nope. In Maryland, only that specific county's circuit court handles domestic relations and actually holds your original case files. Okay, so once you've pinpointed the right court, step 2 is gathering your info. The online Maryland case search portal is going to be your best friend here. Before you make any requests, you need to pull together the full names of the plaintiff and the defendant, the exact date of the divorce, the county of jurisdiction, and your specific court case number. You really want to have all these details meticulously gathered beforehand. It makes the clerk's job so much easier and ensures they can locate your file without any frustrating delays. Now for step 3, actually requesting the copy. Depending on where you are, you can usually submit this in person, by mail, or sometimes even by email. But here's the catch. You absolutely must present a valid photo ID and prepay the local fees. And guys, this is where it gets a bit wild. You have to check your specific county's rules because accepted payment methods and form requirements vary massively across the state. What works flawlessly in one county might get flat out rejected in the one right next door. Finally, step 4, alternatives. Let's say getting the documents straight from the circuit court is basically impossible for some reason. You do have backup options. If your divorce happened way back before 1992, or if you really only need that simple one-page proof of single status we talked about earlier, alternative state agencies like the Maryland State Archives or the Division of Vital Records can step in and help you out. All right, on to Section 3, overcoming common roadblocks. Because let's face it, dealing with bureaucracy always comes with a few hurdles, like sealed records and archival fees. First major roadblock you might hit, sealed records. These are highly sensitive family law cases that are completely restricted from public online viewing. If your case involved really sensitive child-related or financial disclosures and was sealed for good cause, you're just not going to find it on the standard case search portal. To access these, you literally have to submit a formal written petition directly to the circuit court's administrative judge. Then there's the money aspect, and it's really vital to understand how costs break down across different agencies. For example, circuit courts might just charge a flat fee, like $5.50 in Cecil County or maybe 50 cents a page plus $5 for certification over in Baltimore. But if your records are older and got sent to the state archives, you're looking at a $25 non-refundable search fee. Meanwhile, a basic vital records verification is usually $12 and can even be free if you're claiming armed forces benefits. Knowing whether you're on the hook for a simple $5 court decree or risking a $25 non-refundable fee at the archives is super important. Let's bring this to life in Section 4, Real-World Scenarios. We'll look at how other people have actually navigated the Maryland system. Check out this scenario. We had an Annapolis family that urgently needed to divide a pension using a qualified domestic relations order, also known as a QDRO. But their whole process stalled out. They couldn't move forward until they completely bypassed the health department and went straight to the circuit court to retrieve their certified judgment of absolute divorce. This perfectly highlights why knowing the difference between a basic verification and a legally binding decree can literally save you weeks of frustrating delays. Here's another one. An applicant had moved entirely out of state, but needed their Cecil County degree. They actually managed to get it successfully by mail, but get this. They had to strictly use Adobe Reader 5.1 to fill out a specialized PDF form, and they had to pay with a credit card because personal checks were completely banned. This just proves how crucial it is to navigate those cross-county differences. What's a simple email request in Baltimore County could require specific ancient software and strict payment methods just one county over. Crazy, right? And that brings us to Section 5, Conclusion and Disclaimer. Let's wrap up your retrieval strategy. So here's your final rapid-fire recap. Number 1, know exactly what document you need. Are we talking the binding decree or just a simple verification? Number 2, use the Maryland Case Search Portal to track down your exact docket number. Number 3, always contact the specific circuit court where the divorce actually happened. And number 4, brace yourself for those highly specific county forms and fees. And hey, if you know anyone who's pulling their hair out over a halted life event due to missing paperwork, definitely share this explainer with them. Now for a quick but very necessary disclaimer. This explainer is here to give you general guidance on snagging that divorce decree in Maryland. Please consult a legal professional, like the folks at the Patrick Crawford Law Office, for advice tailored strictly to you. We've laid out a pretty comprehensive roadmap here, but legal and bureaucratic procedures are always evolving, so never hesitate to reach out to an expert for your specific situation. I want to leave you with one final thought to chew on today. Knowing just how vital these documents are for your financial and personal future, are your own critical life records securely organized and ready for whatever comes next? It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other essential pieces of your legal history are just sitting in some dusty county archive right now, waiting for the exact moment you need them most? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning and stay organized.